Good morning. What about others? Right. Anyway, let them join. So we were discussing user manuals guidelines based on the practices. So let us see the remaining things. So I hope first two have told, and second one, third one, and fourth one. So support the error recognition and recovery. So here is another one is called the support reading to do, study and locate. So here also same thing, just like customer care support only. So how it will be identifying the errors, and when you are identifying the errors, you have to enter that. They have to give the space to enter that. That is what they have to provide it. That is what the major idea behind this supporting error recognition and the recovery. So that means what? So prevent the mistakes whenever possible. So identify the mistakes whenever it is possibles are there. Provide the error information when action and error phone or correction is difficult. So provide the error informations. So they have to provide the error informations. So next one is called the provide the error information that supports the detection, diagnosis, and the corrections. That is what the behind this. So whenever they are finding the error informations, that they have to find the detection for that and diagnose that one and the correction for that one. So they have to analyze, and what is the solutions you have to give it, you have to give it that one. That is what the provide the error information that supports detection, diagnosis and correction. That is what the behind user manuals guidelines based on the supporting. So that means what? Possible sometimes we'll get the settings changes, something errors whenever you are getting. So some cases we have to get the manuals on instead of going for the customer care. So now we have the options and all. Earlier days and those days were not available. So we have to see the user manuals only. Suppose any settings changes, if you want to, all these things to be done, user manuals only. So there they have to find possible errors and all. They have to enter it and they have to give the correct solution, how to rectify that. That is what the behind this. Next is support reading to do, study and locate. So this is also important, supporting reading to do and study and locate it. Be brief. Don't spell out everything. So be brief and don't no need to spell it out everything. So no need to write the paragraphs for that. Write it the brief and what was the question. So question should be clear and simple. That is what the meaning for this. Provide a table contains index and glossaries. So here is they have to provide the index. So everywhere we are saying whenever you are buying any TV or refrigerator, they will be giving the content of that one. Even mobile also, some of the sheets they are giving, user manuals they are giving. So how to do, what to do, what not to do, all these things should be simple way they have to give it. Otherwise, what will happen? If you are giving paragraph, if they want to find small mistakes, so they cannot spend the days or entire day. So that is the reason question should be simple way to understand, and when you are writing the questions also you have to write it the simple way. That is what the user manuals rules and regulations you need to follow that. Keep writing styles clean and simple. This is also the same thing. We need to write the style clean and simple way you have to write it. Provide the closure for the chapters. So we need to give, that means conclusion for the every chapters. So we have to give the conclusion for every chapters. That is nothing but the end of that one. So this is what the user manuals guidelines. So whatever it may be for that, any user manual preparations, you take any examples for that, either college admissions or PGCET admissions or MSET admissions or whatever it may be. So they have to give the user manuals. User manuals when they are preparing, that should be a readable format, good quality. They have to maintain it, and header, footer, left margins, right margins, all these things to be followed. Otherwise, what will happen when they are making the book? So some data may not be visible for that. So diagrams, whenever they are giving, they have to check it out, proofreading for that every time. They have to identify when mistakes, so they have to do it. So apart from that, some of the questions also, admission process will be different. And when you are using the electronics items and all, they have to give some of the questionnaires and answers. That means user manuals, they have to give it. So even some of the problems you should be able to solve it. So that way they have to prepare it and give it to us. So next is, whenever they are finding the errors, you have to give the space to give it. That means whenever you are finding the errors means they have to provide us the space, means which way we are communicating. So that is what the space is, nothing but not giving the space for us. So how you are communicating. For example, if you are getting mobile problems means you are calling the customer care. That is also space for us. Or sometimes if it is big problems, we'll send through mails. That is also space for us. Space means they have given the mail IDs. That is what the space for us. That is what the you need to follow the rules and regulations. Choose an action-oriented approaches. Let users task guide organizations. Support error recognition and recovery, and support reading to do study and locate. This is what the user manuals. So here we have, they have given some of the examples also. So examples, electronic analog to the paper. So that means what? So we can see some of the systems here, some of the settings. That means what? They have to give the clarity for this. So that means what? See how to scan it and put it here. So textbooks, if you see it, is if it will visible clarity, that one. So that means what? Whatever you are displaying, that should be having good quality and should be able to understand the users. So that is what you have to do. It. PowerPoint automated table of the content along to the manual paper. So that is what we have to do it. So even you can enlarge that one, because of the when you are putting this one, maybe some of the characters may not be visible. So just this is nothing but they create the new PowerPoint presentation from an existing one. So that is what the way of doing this one. So that is what the creating a PowerPoint presentations. So still you can make it the bigger one and you can see that one. So this is nothing but just one example to give the quality. And here also some of the examples, online tutorials. So where suppose sometimes you are doing online tutorials, online classes, clarity that should be there. That one. So one of the example for that. So if you are doing online courses, so they'll be providing some of the videos, some of the questions, all these things. So finally you'll be having the NPTEL, means you have the examination, all those things. So there also they will be giving the videos, all these things. So that is what the online tutorials. So here some of the examples they have given, graph examples they have given, and how to select, how to do it. So one example, that's all. So guiding the users when they learn the systems. So here is nothing but the how to learning the systems, learning process they have to give it. Suppose if you are going for the online any courses NPTEL, if you take, they have to, they're providing apart from the course there also they have allowed you to do it last semester. So all these things they have to give the guidelines to learn for that one. That means what are the basic needs to learn the subjects. So either programming theory or whatever it may be, they have to provide the basic needs to learn it. So that is what the one examples, online tutorials. So some of the examples you have the like two walls and the surface you are having. So to discover tools, Spotfire provides the examples that guides users while they learn to use the interfaces. So examples they have given it. Suppose how to, they have shown one example how to learn the examples also they given. So here they have shown the examples. So you want to draw the graph or providing the points, all these things. So for example, if you take the Google Maps. So when you are whenever you want to book the auto or cars, something. So, mean what are they will be providing the objects for us. They will be providing the objects nearby. Some cars will show 5 minutes, some cars will show 10 minutes, and apart from the ranges, all these things. So here also some of the objects they have shown it here. So some other examples they have shown here. So like this, how to make it? They are giving the interfaces and some of the examples that's so it doesn't mean that we have to practice the same way. Some of the examples, just some of the objects. So discovery tools, Scoot 5. So we need to write in the examination is nothing but the points only. So whatever they have given this one, shaping the contents of the manual, user manuals, guidelines, all those things. Just for understanding purpose, learning through online, how to learn it and how they will be providing the manuals. So here also same thing, whenever you are getting the errors, you can write some of the letters to the particular people or concerned persons, you can get it clarified. So that is what the online examples, online tutorials, all these things. So this chapter, compared to me, you people are very familiar because you are doing maximum online things and you know how to do it, all those things. You might have used the manuals and you might have used the customer care services and you have done it some of the online courses. All these things you have done it. That one only this fifth chapter. Only thing is you have to read the main headings and you have to write it that in the examination. How you are presenting, not writing one line, two lines. So you have to elaborately have to write it. That's all. So here is some of the interfaces how to make it. So interfaces is nothing but so more than one or two items how to make the interfaces. So you have the Google Map in that car, vehicles and all how they are providing for us interfaces they have given it. That is what the interfaces combinations of the Google Maps and cars, all those things. So some provider they are providing us to make use of that. So interfaces, this is what then examples. So this one. So you can take many examples also. Next is how highlighting fonts, etc. helps the users. So some of the cases whenever you are seeing your online courses or online documentation, all these things. So some cases fonts, other things may not be clear. Maybe if it is small, how to increase that one. So how to increase the font size, all these things you know. So we are using, being a computer science students, we don't have any problems how to increase all those things. So we have seen even VMware font size less means how to increase. So even Word, MS Word, all these things you are seeing how to increase all those things. So even there also same thing. Whenever they are providing the onlines, how to make it the Zoom, all facilities should be provided. That means what? Whenever we are doing the business also, even we should be able to provide that one. That means what? So systems, all those things, Zoom, so all these things. So now you are seeing many people are utilizing the mobile only. So teachers are providing the PPTs. What you will be doing? So if it is not visible, you are making the zoom or making the smaller things. All these things you should be able to do. That is what the highlighting for the points of the increasing or decreasing helps to the users. So some of the cases here, see here how to make it. Suppose if you are having the bigger window, some of the specific a menu or menu items you want to see it, you will be moving to that particular area. Then what you are doing? Then you are enlarging that or you are zooming for that. That is what you are doing. So that means then only we can be able to do it. So now here also what will happen? We are not able to read some of the points here. So just only some of the diagrams are visible and some of the text are visible but we are not able to read. So in this case what you have to do it, you have to make bigger one and you can make it the enlarge for this. So that is what the how highlighting the fonts and etc are increasing the fonts or some of the cases you want to highlight for that. So making the colors, so making the colors, even if we have pens and all, touching the screens, we can make it round and you can highlight it. This is what the important, all these things. So that is what the highlighting and how to make it the helps to the users. So maybe machine learning madam was highlighting some of the points. Using pen, we can highlight that one. So using the screen only, we can highlight it and we can show that one. That means what? How to interact the people users. So that means what? So when you are highlighting something, that means what? So some people will be seeing that one, some people will be learning easily that one. That is what that one. So that means what? You have many points, some of the points are highlighting. So that means this is what sometimes we will say, this is important problem, you have to learn it properly, so please listen that one. So when we were solving ADA also, we have done the same way, same process we have done it. So highlighting is nothing but the that one only. How to highlight, which one will be highlighting. That means what? When you are writing the theories and all, main heading sometimes we'll underline it or we will make it bold. So that means what? This is I have written it. That is what to say that. So this is what the many examples, even you can say this for this. Next is guidelines for the user manuals. How to make the guidelines for the user manuals with respect to this person has given. So your author, Schneiderman. So first author, you have the four authors. So this person and Carol. So this is the two persons, they make it how to prepare the user manuals. So first one is called the author also. So and Carol is the one more person. So these persons, they have given some of the key points how to prepare the user manuals. That is what. So that means what? Now we can say that everybody is preparing, why they have given rules, regulations, all these things. So now because we are using many things, we can say that. But initially, whoever prepared for that, they have some of the set of the rules, regulations, how to prepare all these things, discussions they happen, then they have set it. So everywhere rules, regulations should be there. Some of the manuals should be there. Then only the things will go as usual. So even colleges you take. So rules, regulations, it is bounded by the university, bounded by the government, all these things. Otherwise, what will happen? Everybody will be the boss. So if something goes wrong, nobody will be there to take care. So that is the reason they made it the fair, made the rules, regulations, all those things. So here also same thing. Some of the everything, whatever you are doing, some of the guidelines is required. That means what? Everything goes fine, nobody will ask. If something goes wrong, then only everybody will question. Suppose if you somebody, sometimes you people will go for the tour, all those things, without informing either parents or the teachers. So normally you will come, you will say you will go to college, you will say and come, that in between you people will go. So suppose everything goes fine, evening you will come, you will go to the respective houses. No problem, nobody will say. Suppose if something goes wrong, then only all will be the question. So how you went, to whom you have informed. So all these things, questions will be coming into the something goes wrong. So examples, no need to say, no need to go in detail. Something goes wrong means, so bad things, no need to discuss that one. So why to discuss the bad things? That means what? Something goes wrong, then only questions will be arised. Otherwise, nobody will ask. So that means what? When we'll say the assignments, if you submit the assignment, if you are writing internals, if you are getting the minimum marks, nobody will question. Suppose if something goes wrong means, if you are not attending, if you are not getting the minimum marks, then only teachers will ask you. So they will tell you to get your parents. All these things, something went wrong, something goes wrong. Then only that one. That is the reason guidelines. Guidelines means, suppose if you are writing one time examination, so if fails, what to do? So you have to pay the examination, you have to write the exam. That they have to write it first itself the university. That is what the guidelines, manuals, all those things. Choose and action-oriented approaches provide an immediate opportunities to act. So that means what? Guidelines, manuals, what they are telling is nothing but immediate to be acted. So when results comes, next immediate what they have to do university, Then they have to give the either revaluation or counting other things process. Next is those got failed marks, they can apply for the examination. So that is nothing but the providing an immediate opportunity to act that. So to complete that, that is their responsibilities, rules and regulations. That is what they have to write it. Encourage and support the exploration and innovation. Encourage the support exploration and innovation. So education system best example for this. So whenever we are learning something, so not only the with respect to the subjects, so we have to discuss real-time examples. Sometimes teachers will say to solve other problems also, real-time problems. So that is what we have to do it. So you say our responsibility to solve the societal problems also. Now we cannot solve all the problems, but how much we can be able to do it, how much we can be able to help it, how much we can share to the solve the social needs. Respect the integrity of the user's activities. We need to integrate that one, combining one. Show the numerous examples. So we have to show the examples for this. Let us users talks the guides organizations select or design the instructional activities that are the real tasks. Whenever we are doing the real tasks, we have to give the designing instructionals. Present task concepts before the interface objects and actions. Next is the create components and instructions that reflect the task structures. Supporting error recognition and recovery. So these are all this point we have discussed already also. Prevent the mistakes whenever possible. These points also we have discussed. So some of the points are same with respect to the some of the fields. Next, provide the error informations when the actions are error prone or correctness is difficult. Provide the error informations that support the detection, diagnosis, and corrections. This example also we have learned it in the previous example itself. So that means what? Whoever prepare, for example, if you take VTU, some of the affiliated colleges are there, they're running the autonomous. So maybe a BMS you take. Now they are running autonomous. Now we are under VT. So like that, autonomous colleges many are there. So RV College, MSRIT. So they have some of the rules, regulations, examples. But again, it is bounded by the university only. So how to, suppose if the student fails, how to write it, all this. That is one thing. So either you see BMS or RV or this one. So some of the points will be the same only. Some people will say, we'll announce the results within the 15 days. Some people will say, we'll announce the results within 20 days. We have to use the same common points for that. Some people will say, once it is student fail, we'll conduct within month of the examination. Somebody will write, within month we'll write the examination, those got failed marks. So that is what they, here also the meanings or some of the cases same if it is the same field. Different field only, it will change the sentences. Next one is support reading to do, study and locate. Be brief, don't spell out everything. So entire sentence, questions whenever you are putting, we have to put it the questions. Next is provide a table content, index and glossaries. Keep the writing style clean and simple. Provide the closure for the chapters. So these are the need to follow some of the rules, regulations, especially the last one is important. Supporting reading to do, study and locate. Where you are locating, where you are putting all these things. Be brief, don't spell out everything. Provide the table of contents, index and glossaries. So keep the writing style clean and simple. So whatever you are writing, that should be clean. So that means what? The font size, whatever you are printing, it should be visible for that. Provide the closure and chapters. So we need to provide the so the chapters, one type of problems, one chapters. So here also textbooks, if you see, we have many chapters. Sometimes each unit 2 chapters, 3 chapters, 4 chapters. Like that, you have to give the bifurcations. So entire thing no need to don't combine it. So now university also given the syllabus copy, so they made it the units. So one unit is much content. So no need, they are not combining. So that means what? If you are combining, what will happen? It is difficult to find out something if you want to find out. That means when we are saying the example programming functions, we will say. So why we need to write the functions? Why we need to write the small functions? That means what? If you have that 5,000 lines code or 10,000 lines code of the project, suppose something goes wrong somewhere, where is that code? So finding is difficult. If you are writing the functions, particular action is not working, we can move to that particular function, we can rectify the errors. That is what they should be clear. That is also one reason to write the chapter. So whenever you want to search something, we can move directly the particular chapter and we can find out. If you write it entire everything combined, what will happen? We have to search it. Where is the topic? All these things. So they have given unit wise, and unit wise also chapters they have given it. So particular problem where it is available, we know for which chapter. Directly we can move there and we can write it the answer. That is what the providing the chapters intention. Next is basics. Again, our author only they have given organization and writing styles. Organization and writing styles. These also we know that, but still we need to discuss some of the styles, how to write it, all these things. Previous statements of the educational objectives. We need to write the previous statements for the educational objectives. So educational objectives, we need to write it for the statements. So next is present concepts. So here is organizationals and writing styles, we need to write it. That's all. That means what is the rules? For example, if you take our college only, they have written college vision and mission. So vision is, this is what our vision when you are taking the admission into these institutions. Next they will say the mission also down. So why they have written mission is nothing but, so to reach the vision, what are the things we are doing to satisfy the vision? That is what the mission. So that is what they'll be writing vision. So objectives we need to write it everywhere. What is your objective? So educational objectives is nothing but, so college objectives they have written vision mission. That is what the educational objectives we need to write it. So again the program also we have the educational objectives. So NBA sometimes will tell it. Suppose if somebody asks, this is what we are doing objectives. That means educational. What is the educational objectives? So our objectives is nothing but what? Everybody wants to get the job. Everybody wants to place into the companies. So like that we have the objectives. Present concerned in a logical sequence with increasing order of the difficulties. Ensure that each concept is used to subsequent actions. So here is ensure that each concept is used in the subsequent sections. So these are also same thing. Textbook if you are having, if you have one topic, we will be writing the subtopics for that one, or paragraph, or problems, subsections, all these things to be written clearly. The second one is present the concepts in the logical sequence. So you have the logical sequence. We have to write it the sequence correctly. So logical also, logical in the sense sometimes first chapter will be discussing something. So this one will be in detail will be discussed in chapter number 9. Sometimes they will write it in the textbook. So ADA you might have seen. So brute force techniques when we were discussed, nap snack problem, transportation problem, all these things again what we textbook told, this one will be discussed again later. So that is what the logical address. Logical means later. That is not the physically there, but logical it will be there in the later stages. So like science and all. So when you are entering into the campus, they will say there library block, administrative block, principal office, something. So that is what the you have to say the logically. So next one is called the avoid forward references. Avoid the forward references. That means references try to avoid. So this one you study later or we'll see later all these things. Maximum times we cannot repeat the sentences. References we cannot give it. Some other textbook, all these things. We can study later, at least work one or two problems, not for entire thing. And apart from that, avoiding the forwarding references also we need to avoid for that. Construct the sections with approximately equal amounts of the new materials. So construct the sections with approximately equal amount of the new materials. So we have to, when you are constructing the new materials also, we have to follow the same rules, regulations and sections, whatever we had discussed the previous one, that to be followed the same way. Need sufficient examples and complete sample sessions. So that means what? You need to give the sufficient examples and complete the sample sessions. So you have some of the sections in that you give the sufficient problems. So that means what? For example, if you take the algorithms only, dynamic programming. So there we told solve the overlapping problems. So abstract problem they have given, memory functions they have given. So Floyd, Marshall, all these things are some of the problems, overlapping problems. So that means what? You have the table. If you want one answer, we have to depending on to the other one. So all these things we have to follow it. We have to give the maximum problems. So dynamic overlapping problems, they have not told only one. So they have given n of examples. Floyd, Marshall, snap, memory function. All these things they have given it. That is not the, you have to give many examples to understand that. Apart from that, only not only the solving that problems, again they have given some of the exercises to solve the problems. Need sufficient examples and complete the sample sessions. That is not the need sufficient examples. We have to tell it, then we have to use the exercise also to understand the problem. So mathematical oriented is most suitable for these sentences. Choose of the words and paras versus important. So choose the words when you are writing the paragraphs carefully. So that means what? Sentence formations, continuity, continuation, all these things to be followed. That is what the choice of the words. Next is style guidelines, guides for the organizations, attempts to ensure consistency and high qualities. So that is there any organizations they are attempting for the high qualities and consisting the ensure the consistency and high qualities. So that is what the everybody will be doing who are all doing the business or service oriented, whatever it may be. Next is writing style should match users' reading abilities. So this is common point. Writing styles. So whatever you are writing, the styles that should be understandable, readable for that. So that's what when we are telling when you are writing the examination, we'll say scan it properly and send it to us. So that is what the writing styles also important. So whenever you are writing the examination, somebody should be able to understand your handwriting also. You need to follow that one. This is what the basic organization and writing the tools. Precise the statement of educational objectives, presents concepts of in a logical sequence with increasing order of the difficulties, ensure that each concept is used in the subsequent sections, avoid the forwarding references, construct the sections with appropriately equal amount of the new materials. Next is need the sufficient examples, give the sufficient examples to understand properly. Next is use the appropriate words to complete the paragraphs or sentences. Next is style guides of the organizations, write it with high qualities. Next is a writing style should be matched with the user's reading abilities. This is what you need to follow the basic organization writing styles. when you are making the organizations, so you need to follow. This is the sentences according to the UIDs. Next one is, so we can take some of the cases online help also. Kersley's guidelines for the online help systems. So here also some of the diagrams already we have seen this, some of the examples, and this example they have given it. Make a system easy to access and easy to return the form. That means what? So when you are providing the information, some of the informations, so other people should be able to understand easily like drag and drop. So you might have across in many cases some of the information they are asking, filling the forms, all those things. So they have to give very easily. So we have second unit we had discussed many examples. So like database only I will say. So when they are asking data birth only, we have taken the examples. Initially they used to ask us the data format should be DD, YY something. So next what happened? After some days calendar they was taken. So now again month, year, DD, all these things we can able to select it. That means what? So there is no chance of the mistakes. So now many people you might have come across that one. So filling the applications, all those things many people are offering online only. After filling we can take one printout, all these things will be coming out. So like biodata or whatever you have applied for the company for jobs, all those things. So we need to give clarity, easy way of implementations. We need to write it. Make system easy. Every system make it easy to understand, easy to process, easy to complete the task. Make help as specific as possible. So make the specific help as possible. Next is collect the data to determine what help is required. So you collect the data. So that means what? Feedback you need to take it. You are giving one form, then you have to take the feedback, what all the difficulties are there. So now we can say the feedback system. So initially they were giving some of the sheets. So then they have taken the feedback. So then they have implemented the online also. Online also every time they are taking the feedback. Any errors are coming, they are rectifying and going ahead for the complete the process. That is what they collect the data and determine what help is required. That is the reason feedback. So feedback is nothing but, so what still you are expecting in that process. So here also same thing. So teachers are taking the class, still what data it is required, where went wrong to find that one. Some of the questions is nothing but where the teachers got deficiencies, that one, then they will be rectifying that one. Collect the data to determine what help is needed. Give users as much control as possible over the help systems. So give the users much control as possible over the help of the systems. So we have to give some of the possibilities to complete that process. So that means what? Suppose if they forgotten the password. So forgot password process you give it. So they will be solving their own. So you might have asked some of the questions through mail or through mobile. You might have collected. So request either through mobile sending OTP or whatever it be. So we are seeing many cases that one. That is what they give the users much control. Make help messages accurate and complete. So messages accurate and complete. So everywhere accurate is important. Exact informations, exact data. So that is what the online help also. So do not use help to compensate for poor interfaces designing. So when you are doing the interfaces, don't use the poor interfaces. Combining one to one, so don't use the poor interfaces. So whenever you are using the data, you have to take it properly and you have to display it properly. So that means database, you know that different databases are there. Sometimes we'll combining the informations. So using some of the primary keys will be taking the information from the 2 to 3 databases. So when you are giving the interfaces, don't use the poor interfaces designing. So what interfaces you are using, try to use the correct one. So otherwise, what will happen? You'll be facing the problems. So you take some other examples as a car or bike. So they have done the interfaces one to one each other. Suppose if some one item is not working, what will happen? We cannot move on. So bikes. So that's what they have to put it the items, proper items. So when you are doing the interfaces, you have to do it the properly. So type sometimes they'll say this is one sir, this is good one, this much. This is the this much cost. So when we are making also, we have to good qualities, we have to go at good interfaces. So always we'll find out which is the best one. So when you are making the interfaces also, you have to use the similar fashion. That is what the guidelines for the online help for this with respect to this. So online manuals again here also. So here we have the two things, a reproduction of printed manuals online, how you will be a reproduction. So we'll be preparing for that after taking feedback, how to change it, how to make it that one. So that is what the online manuals, a reproduction. Next is enhanced by special online features. This we'll see in the next class. So last chapter is something like this only. So like you have the users, you have the companies, how you will be making the interfaces for that, how to make the guidelines, how to make the online print, how to make the rules regulations, how to take feedbacks, after taking feedback how to go ahead, that one. That is what the simple way we can say. Anyway, let us discuss. So probably another 3 to 4 hours if I take, it will complete the syllabus. Because of the extension of the time we are tracking, otherwise I should have finished it by this time. Okay. Right, sir. Now I'll take the attendance. Answer your attendance. Answer attendance 1, 2, 3, three,
Yes, sir.
4,
Yes, sir.
5, Antima, 6, Apurva, 7,
Yes, sir.
8, 9, Bindu, 9, Divyash, 10,
Yes, sir.
11, Gautami, 12, Gunashekar,
Present, sir.
13,
Present, sir.
14, 15,
Present, sir.
16, Naina, 17,
Present, sir.
18,
Present, sir.
19,
Yes, sir.
20,
Present, sir.
21, 22,
Present, sir.
24. Hey, Rajesh, what happened? Divyash, any idea? Why
No,
is
sir.
that?
I don't know, sir.
Okay. 25, Sahadev, 24, Sahadev, absent Sahadev, huh? All right. 25, Anand, 26, Santosh.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
27,
Yes, sir.
29,
Present, sir.
30, Spurti, Spurti, 36, the 31,
Present, sir.
32, 33,
Present, sir.
34,
Present, sir.
50,
Present, sir.
51,
Present, sir.
52,
Present, sir.
53,
Yes, sir.
54,
Present, sir.
55, Kavya, 56,
Present,
Madhusri,
sir. Present, sir.
57, Manish, 57, Manish, 58, Sarpras,
Present, sir.
59, Murugesh,
Present, sir.
60,
Present, sir.
Navneet, 61,
Present, sir.
62,
Present, sir.
63,
Present, sir.
64,
Present, sir.
65,
Present, sir.
66, Sadhana, 68, Shashank, 69,
Present, sir.
70,
Present, sir.
71,
Present, sir.
72,
Present, sir.
73,
Present, sir.
74,
Present, sir.
76,
Present, sir.
77.
Present, sir.
Okay. Anything else? So, assignments, you try to finish it off, write it in the book and submit it in the GCR. Okay, you upload it there only. I'll correct it and I'll put it. So timings you need to follow. Late submissions will not be considered. That's what they're told. So try to submit within the duration only, within the time only. Anything else? Okay.
Sir, notes, sir.
Madam?
Notes.
Notes, huh? I'll send it PPTs.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Naina, now you are telling when I call you didn't say only attendance, sir?
Sir, I said, sir.
Where you said?
The mic was asking low permission, so it was being late, sir.
I marked option. Now I am seeing you.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
I'll give 34, 35, 36, 37. Right, Amma. I've given. I'll send it. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Right, Amma.